You can download the art seen in the video for free, link in the description. For a hit flash in your game, first go to the scene that you want affected. Inside the Sprite 2D node, scroll down until you reach material, then select empty and add a new shader material. Scroll down again, hit empty and add a new shader. Name it to hit flash and hit create. Now under the resource tab, make sure to enable local to scene. This is very important because if left disabled, then any changes to this shader will affect every other node that has this shader applied, which is not what we want considering we want this shader to affect the sprite it's attached to independently. Select the shader. Inside we will define two uniforms which are essentially exported variables. Hit flash color, which is the color of the hit flash. Having this will allow for the hit flash to not only just be white, and hit flash on, which will allow us to enable and disable the hit flash effect. Inside the built-in fragment function, which applies its code to each pixel of the affected sprite, we will establish a vec4 variable storing the color data of the applied sprite. Then we will use a conditional statement for the vec3 variable of the final RGB. This variable will return the RGB of the hit flash color if hit flash on is enabled, else it will provide the RGB of the sprite color variable. Finally, we set the built-in color variable to a vec4 that contains the colors from the final RGB and the transparency of the sprite color. We separate the transparency to determine what pixels of the texture are transparent. Otherwise, we would have the entire bounds of the sprite be equal to the color of the hit flash, making the final result similar to a color rect. Now to animate this into our game, add an animation player node to the scene, right click and hit rename. Rename it to hit flash anim, create a new animation, name it hit, set the total time to 0.2, and enable snapping on the playhead and set the snapping to 0.1. Select the sprite, then select the animation tab again, drop down the shader parameters and enable hit flash, then hit keyframe and hit create. Move the playhead to 0.2, disable hit flash and keyframe. Then select the animation name and go to reset. Select the keyframe and disable it. This saves us from having to set the shader parameter to false in the code's ready function. Now go to your script. Inside we can grab the hit flash animation player and call the hit animation. Now when the characters are clicked, they have a hit flash animation that I can also change the color of. Don't forget that you can check out the project files, link in the description.